Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over the best Tribbie teams. And before we get into today's video, I would love to know which character from Amphorius you are the most excited for. And lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, do consider subscribing to see more content from me, leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. To start off, I thought we could do a character overview of Tribbie, which Tribbie is a Quantum Harmony character who provides team-wide buffs that increases the team's damage output. These buffs would consist of when she uses her skill, she will be able to increase the ult type res pen of all allies, and she's also going to be able to increase the damage that enemies take when her zone is activated with her ultimate. This zone will increase enemies' damage taken by 30%. Tribbie can also unleash follow-up attacks onto enemies when an ally uses their ultimate, but do keep in mind there is a limit on this, which is one follow-up attack per ally using their ultimate. So for example, let's say Serval uses her ultimate, Tribbie will unleash a follow-up attack, but if Serval were to use her ultimate shortly afterward, then Tribbie will not unleash an additional follow-up until you reset the counter by using Tribbie's ultimate again. What's really nice though in Tribbie's kit is that she will be able to gain back energy from allies attacking enemies, which is through her trace Pebble at the Crossroads. And this will allow Tribbie to get frequent energy throughout the fight and can result in her using her ultimate very frequently, especially if you are fighting multiple targets. When it comes to Tribbie's buffing capabilities, in the case of her skill as well as the zone from her ultimate, this will last based on her turns, with her skill lasting for 3 turns and then her ultimate zone lasting for 2 turns. Now I have released multiple showcases of Tribbie so far on my channel, which if you want you can check them out after this video, but when it comes to Tribbie's zone in particular, I've noticed that the uptime is practically 100% due to the fact that her trace Pebble at Crossroads really assists with her being able to have a very nice uptime on the zone, especially if you do decide to run her on the slower side of things. So let's say you decided to use the Poet Relic set, that Tribbie will be very slow, and as a result she can have better buff uptime due to the fact that because she isn't taking too many turns, when allies are continuously attacking enemies before Tribbie gets her turn, this can assist with her getting more and more energy so that she is able to use her ultimate before the zone runs out, and as a result you'll have very good uptime on that particular buff. So overall, when it comes to Tribbie's buffing capabilities, her buffs are very universal, I'd say, as they can benefit practically any team when it comes to improving the damage output of characters. And then of course you can also equip her with Dance 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 as a very nice 4-star option on her, and this will allow her now to provide the team advance forward as well. And depending on the frequency of your characters attacking and her being able to get more energy, you can end up using Dance 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 multiple times within a cycle, and as a result she's able to provide quite a lot of action advance for the entire team. So that could be seen as an additional benefit that she could do thanks to her trace that allows her to get more energy, Pebbles at Crossroads. Also, another cool thing about Tribbie's zone before we move on to team comps is that when an ally attacks enemies, for every target hit, there will be an additional instance of quantum damage equal to 12% of Tribbie's max HP, the target that has the highest HP among the hit target, which is beneficial for further improving the damage output of the team. But now that we've done a quick overview of Tribbie, let's actually get into teams. So here we are with Tribbie teams. We are going to be starting off by talking about the Herta plus Tribbie, which is an incredible synergy due to the fact that Tribbie can take advantage of course, the frequent AoE attacks from a Herta team, but also assist with supporting Herta. The reason this is because Tribbie has those follow-ups in her kit, which can help with stacking more interpretation onto enemies, but also assist with giving Herta more energy. In Herta's case, she's assisting with giving Tribbie more energy, especially the secondary Erudition character on the team. They are both working towards assisting Tribbie with getting more energy due to the fact that Tribbie will also get energy depending on how many enemies are hit. So let's say for instance you decided to use Serval alongside the Herta. Serval is able to use her ultimate very frequently, especially if you do equip her with Passkey. You have potentially the Eagle set on her, the Von Wax set on her, an energy regen rope, whatever it may be. Serval has a very low energy cost of only 100 to use her ultimate. Because of that, she's going to be able to use her ultimate very frequently, which now results in gaining more energy for Tribbie as well as Herta, but also being able to trigger Tribbie's follow-up attack as well. And then of course, once Tribbie uses her ultimate again and resets the counter on that, then Serval will be ready to use another ultimate, have Tribbie use another follow-up attack, and then it just goes from there. I have actually released a showcase of Herta alongside Serval and Tribbie, and then I also use Lingsha on this team. Lingsha is a very nice option as a sustain when it comes to using her alongside Herta and Tribbie, due to the fact that she is able to unleash frequent AoE attacks onto enemies when it comes to her skill, ultimate follow-ups, and so on. So because of that, I primarily focus on Lingsha being fast, being able to attack very, very frequently, so that she is able to help with regenerating energy for Tribbie and Herta. Of course, you can use alternative sustains as well. You can use Gallagher, you can use Huohuo, who can use her ultimate to give more energy for the entire team, you can use Aventurian, and so on. Let's say you didn't want to use Serval, hypothetically, you can consider Little Herta, you can consider Jade, you can even consider Argenti. I've been seeing a lot of people have fun with Argenti and Herta with Tribbie on the team. You can use that. And overall, when it comes to what Tribbie is able to provide, she is able to, of course, provide the ult type res pen. Her zone from her ultimate is great for being able to increase the damage output the team deals onto enemies. Her follow-ups nicely synergize with just being able to get more energy for Herta, as well as stacking interpretation onto enemies. And overall, Tribbie is an excellent supportive option when it comes to synergizing on Herta teams in particular, since all of the AoE attacks from all the other characters on the team, in the case of Herta, your secondary erudition character, and then depending on who your sustain is, will nicely be able to assist with Tribbie being able to use her ultimate very frequently due to how much energy they'll be able to get back for her, as well as, of course, Herta. There are also, of course, other teams you can consider Tribbie on. You can actually consider using Tribbie alongside Aglaea, as Tribbie's ult type res pen from her skill as well as the zone will be beneficial for increasing Aglaea's damage output. Since Aglaea is able to attack very frequently, she will be able to nicely regenerate energy for Tribbie, be able to nicely take advantage of her Trace Pebble at Crossroads. You would ideally want to have characters that either are frequent attackers or even AoE attackers, as they will be able to nicely contribute to Tribbie getting more energy, which, let's say you are using Dance 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 once again, then you can nicely advance forward the entire team with that. So in the case of Aglaea, she's able to nicely get Tribbie more energy. I actually did release a showcase of Tribbie and Aglaea recently, and they did pair very nicely with one another. For your other supportive option, of course, Sunday is a great option. For your sustain, you can consider using potentially Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo or Huohuo, which Huohuo is really nice in the case of being able to use her ultimate to get more energy back for the team, as she'll be able to get energy back for Aglaea, energy back for Tribbie, and then also Sunday. In the case of Huohuo, since she is giving energy for the entire team, now Sunday's closer to using his ultimate, which he can now use on Aglaea, which gets her closer to her ultimate. And this can result in basically an energy party where you're able to take advantage of their ultimates, which now results in Tribbie being able to unleash those follow-up attacks. And since Huohuo is also giving energy to Tribbie, which now results in either, of course, taking advantage of Dance 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 once again, or even being able to reset the trigger count when it comes to allies using their ultimate for Tribbie to be able to use her follow-up. So as a result, this team can nicely synergize with one another. Of course, Tribbie's buffs can nicely contribute towards Aglaea dealing more damage. So overall, this can be a pretty nice option as well. Okay, the screen does look a little cluttered right now, but you can also, of course, use Feixiao alongside Tribbie. Since Tribbie is able to unleash follow-up attacks, she will be able to assist with getting Feixiao more Flying Aureus stacks. And once again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, Tribbie's buffs are pretty universal for just being able to increase the damage output of a team. So because of that, Feixiao can nicely take advantage of her buffs, and then once again, those follow-ups are going to be really good for getting more Flying Aureus stacks. And in the case of your secondary DPS on the team, you can consider using March, Topaz, Mosa, and so on. In the case of another follow-up attacker, Tribbie's follow-ups can of course assist with this as well. And just as a quick example, let's say in the case of Topaz, Tribbie can assist with advancing Numbi forward, so that's an option of course as well. And then if you do use a sustain, Aventurian's pretty nice for his follow-ups, just being able to use his ultimate. You can use Lingsha. If you don't have either of these two characters, you can of course consider using Gallagher. And then you can also consider using no sustain on this team as well. As for Acheron teams, you can consider using Tribbie on those as well due to the ult type res pen. And of course also the zone that Tribbie will activate when she uses her ultimate. This will assist with furthering Acheron's damage output. You can consider going with Tribbie and then another Nihility character alongside Acheron. and then using a sustain, for example, Venturine, Gallagher, Fuxuan, and so on. You could do this with either E0 or E2 Acheron. I actually did just recently release a showcase of Acheron alongside Tribbie, and it was an E0 Acheron, and I was still able to get a 1 cycle in the current Memory of Chaos, which I do consider impressive in my opinion. But of course, if you do have E2 Acheron, then this will further increase the potential of this team, as Acheron will still be able to fully take advantage of her trace, the Abyss, with only 1 Nihility character. Now, you could also consider going sustainless, and for other team comps, real quick, let me just move the characters out of the way here. You can consider using Tribbie alongside Mydei. You can consider using Tribbie alongside Blade. You can consider using Tribbie alongside Jingliu. And what's nice about Tribbie alongside Jingliu in particular is that since Tribbie's buffs will last on her turns, this means that Jingliu will be able to take advantage of Tribbie's buffs at all times. And of course, on this team, you can use alternative supports. I just have Sunday and Huohuo there as placeholders for a nice sustain and support option you can consider using, but of course, you can use other supports as well. You can use Tribbie alongside Yunli, as she will be able to provide, of course, that old-type res pen and then the zone, which will increase the damage that enemies receive. You can use Clara. You can use Shui Yi. There's quite a lot of options that you can honestly use when it comes to Tribbie. Just once again, those buffs are very, very universal. So as a result, you can use her on quite a lot of teams. And of course, some teams she'll be able to synergize even better due to the fact that she does have her follow-ups and her kit. And then once again, characters that do have high attacking frequency, whether it be through their own kits or even having a character on the team that can help with advancing them forward more frequently. So for example, let's say you use Jingyuan and then you use a character like Sunday. You can allow Jingyuan to attack more frequently, as well as of course Lightning Lord, which Jingyuan of course having AoE centric attacks will nicely be able to contribute towards Tribbie getting more energy. You can consider using Tribbie on a damage over time team, because once again her buffs will be valuable for just increasing the damage output of the team. So this can be in consideration as well. You can go with, let's just make a quick Pure Fiction team, for example. Let me find my Erudition characters real quick. Okay, Himiko. Oh wait, she's over Tribbie. Oops. You can consider doing Himiko plus Little Herta for a Pure Fiction team. You can go with an Argenti Pure Fiction team. Let me find Argenti real quick. Okay. Oh my gosh, his little icon is so tiny. Okay. Oh wait, I just realized both Tribbie and Argenti have wonderful red hair. I love it. I just love their red hair so much. You can use an Argenti team with Tribbie for Pure Fiction. There's just a lot of options that you can use with Tribbie. I can honestly go on for probably another 15 to 20 minutes if I really wanted to, but I think you guys get the gist of just how versatile Tribbie can be when it comes to team comps. And I will be releasing a Tribbie review very soon that just goes over the tests I've done and also just how I fully feel about Tribbie. And this should be releasing very soon, likely in a day or two, right before her release. So I'll be sure to release that for you guys. But yeah, I think I've given you guys quite a lot of team varieties when it just comes to what teams Tribbie can be used on, how many DPSs she can be used alongside, which of course I can keep going with how many characters you can use alongside her. I do think when it comes to future value, just her being able to be used on numerous teams, she will likely be a recommendation on quite a lot of teams in the future when it comes to just her versatility that she's able to offer, being quite a flexible option as well. But yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think about Tribbie, any teams that you guys have thought of. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, do consider subscribing, leaving a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.